the stream is on.
Okay. Start of qualifying. Let's go for tier 2. We're just waiting for someone to go out right now. Um, Artist, do you have any race predictions before they get underway?
I think Mist is gonna be really quick today. He has sent us few pictures of his lap times, and it was pretty impressive as for tier 2. And I just think Mist is gonna be rocking today. Darius also has been practicing, so I also think he's gonna be doing pretty well today.
Yeah. My personal opinion is that Maihei will get the win. I mean, I feel like he's fast enough, and I hope that he's able to take the win. Yeah. As we have the Alpha Tauri go out for its first out lap, let's see if anyone follows after. The Alpine of Levenix also goes out, as well as Mist. So we'll have some qualifying laps going in just a moment. Now the Alfa Romeo's out. And all the cars are coming out. Okay. This track is going to be a hard track as the track limits are quite fine, as well as it not being a great track for its noobs. But we'll have to see. The Alpha Tauri is just rounding the couple corners. He's one off track. I don't know if that's going to be invalidation for both laps, but we'll see. As he slightly touches the wall, that's getting unfortunate a bit. Oh, and a bit of his front wing's gone off. That's not going to be great. Let's see if he decides to box or he'll still continue with his lap. It looks like he is going to be boxing, so that's a bit of laps wasted. Let's see who's next on the board to go for a lap. Levenix rounding on the penultimate straight, the back stretch. Straight. Going around the final corner, and he is ready to start his lap.
A really good exit from him. We're gonna just leave DRS open into the first corner we're gonna go.
Braking around the 100-meter board, he rounds the corner. Ooh, that might be a bit sketchy for track limits as he goes slightly wide. That's not going to be great for his lap time. He puts the throttle down, going for the banked corner slightly. He goes a bit too far from the apex as he makes a spin. Oh no, that's unfortunate. Miss next. He's going around, he's past where he spun, and he's putting a decent lap in. He's gone slightly wide from the apexes. As he goes slightly off track, I don't know if there's a track warning or not, but it looks like it's not going to be a valid lap. That's unfortunate. The Ferrari on the lap now, he's going very slow as he's cut the corner as well. It's very unfortunate for our drivers. Maihei here, I think, is on the lap still as he's pushing really hard into this bank corner where it goes 180 degrees. He manages to nail the line as he goes forwards into the chicane, the first chicane.
Mist has gotten
He goes
the
nice
first
and
purple
tight, but he
sector.
hits the wall a bit.
Mist has gotten the first purple sector. We're gonna look at this time.
And he hits a wall slightly missed. That's not going to be great for his lap time, though. He's on the final stretch now. He just needs to get a good corner, and this will be the pole lap time. Provisional pole for now. But I'm sure the drivers are able to improve from here. 14 minutes left, and Miss goes to set a 134.8. Now that is very much worse compared to tier 1 drivers, but that's expected out of tier 2. Let's see the next car to cross the line. Maihei pit, so I'm sure it must have been invalid or he's got damage.
We're gonna look at the plane's lap right now. It looks like he's gonna push.
Levenix with a 2-minute.8-second lap time.
Did some mistakes in that lap.
He's going slightly close to the wall. but he's managing to keep it on track. Going very slow, however, for the sector 1. But it's fine. Let's see.
Purple sector 1 though.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little bit of oversteer into the quick
Yeah.
corners.
Unfortunate as he goes slightly into the wall and it's an invalid lap.
That's terrible news
Oh,
for
the Levenix set a purple first sector, but he spins out. How unfortunate for him.
That's gonna be very hard for him. The qualifying at least. Ivan actually got a 36.1.
And Sludgy with the 148.9.
While we still gonna, I think, see better lap times.
It looks like missed time is definitely, definitely gonna stand for a little bit longer as the drivers are trying to get to grips with the track.
Sludgy got the first purple sector. He's really quick, even from the view I'm getting.
Levenix is on the final straight now. He's going a bit slow. I don't think this is a proper lap, but we'll have to see. As, yes, it does look like it's not going to be his lap time. He still improves by 7 seconds, so I don't know if he's going to keep his lap or not. Banana's on an outlap now. He's going quite fast. The Aston Martin ahead might cause some hindrance ahead of him, as he seems to be on that lap. My bad.
Sludgy Beast with the he's
800
getting
slower.
purples. He's getting really purple sectors right now as the last corner goes.
Yeah, he looks to. This looks to be a lap time faster than Mrs. as he goes for a 130.6. That is the fastest lap time we've had so far, and he is on provisional pole.
Got yellow flags on sector 1. That's AlphaTauri.
Gone slightly off, I think there. Miss has to find out a way to combat this, as he's 4 seconds behind and he needs to close that gap if he wants any chance of fighting. Maihe's on a lap now, after the shunt from last time, and he seems to be doing decent in this first sector. He goes slightly too deep in that corner, and he's rounding. Okay, he's hit the apex there, and he got a decent line through there. So let's see what lap time he's able to conjure up in the first sector. It's not a purple sector, but still, it might be close enough. As he's going around. Oh, Levenix has crashed out, I think. What's happened with him?
He's in the third sector just after the chicane. Let's look from.
Oh,
that
was very close. He had a shunt and he managed to take off his wheel. Now, will this hinder his... Okay, he's spawned back to the pits. As he's also gone out. The AlphaTauri's also had a massive crash there. And also, Maihe's lap has been invalidated. So this is quite a destructive qualifying here. Saudi Arabia is one of the hardest tracks on the calendar. And it's weird to see the drivers struggling out here.
Levenix looks like he oversteered into the outside wall. And this kid just understeered into the inside wall of the chicane.
And the Ferrari gets invalid lap. He looks to go for another lap, but I'm not sure.
Miss just gonna try to improve his lap time.
He goes slightly too hot into the first corner, which will cost him some lap time.
Ooh,
he also goes a bit off, but it's managed to keep it in. Well, it's not invalidated. He goes very cautiously through these corners, as he does not want he doesn't want Levenix and the AlphaTauri shunt to happen to him. Going around the first sector, he goes a bit too hot, and it's invalidated again. This first sector seems to be a killer.
He was a little bit wide on the fifth, sixth corners. We're gonna watch status. We're gonna maybe see from him, but he has invalidated lap time for now.
Mhm. The Ferrari seems to be on a good lap so far compared, as he's not actually set a lap time. He's got a second, purple second sector. Ooh, this might throw in some marbles here. As he's on the back straight, as long as he can nail his final corner, I think he's got a pretty decent lap here. He goes nice and close to the apex, shifts up during the corner, which might lose him some time. And I don't think that it will be a great lap for him, as it's going to be a 1:34.7, but manages to put him up into P2. He just needs to manage to find those 4 seconds and it'll be all good for him.
Sludgy actually is really quick in this lap. Didn't even expect him to do that well. But
Yeah.
we're gonna just watch the other, his teammate rounding the final corner. It's a clean lap.
And it's going to be a 1:29.7. He goes on pole by an entire second, being his teammate.
That was a good lap from this
Yeah.
match.
7 minutes to go. I wonder if anyone can improve. What do you think?
I have absolutely no idea. This is a tricky track. Everything can actually happen. Maybe some other driver will find the pace to beat the time, but I don't actually think there's gonna be someone managing to do it.
Well, we'll have to see, as we have 6 minutes and 30 seconds in qualifying. Can anyone muster up a good enough time to get themselves on provisional pole?
Not even sure. I think the McLaren got a really fast lap.
Yeah. And the other McLaren, his teammate, is now on another lap. Let's see how his lap goes. As he goes nice and tight into these corners, he makes a spin. Oh no, what a blunder. As he goes off the track and he'll have to start a new lap. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
quick corners in Saudi Arabia are really, really making the car struggle with oversteer.
The Alfa Romeo of Banana Giggle and Maihei need to set a lap time, as they haven't got a lap on the board, as they've either been invalidated or they spun out. So Maihei is on a lap here. Let's see how it goes. On the straight, he's got decent speed. Let's see where he breaks into the first corner. At the 100-meter board, he keeps it nice and tight. This is a nice line. He goes slightly a bit wide, but he manages to keep it. It'll probably lose him a couple tenths, but that's fine. As he goes into this banked high-speed corner, going 4th gear, and you want to immediately sweep to the right and then back to the left. These nice flowy corners are very difficult to master here around Saudi Arabia. As he goes, we need to hit the curbs, and he's not doing that really. He's managed to do that on the exit here, and it's not going to be a purple sector.
He's trying to keep it safe, try to at least get a lap time.
Yeah, but he might actually have a decent lap here, as the line he's taking is not bad. It's just not very smooth as Saudi Arabia is meant to be.
We're gonna see.
Yes. He didn't mess up that chicane. Let's see if he can keep it through this chicane. He goes nice and close to the apex. He's got purple sector too. Can he get himself provisional pole? As he's on the back stretch, he just needs to master this final corner, and it could be pole for him, provisionally, of course.
Let's see.
He goes quite wide to the apex, but he manages to keep it rotated as he goes, accelerates, and it's going to be a lap time of a 31.3. That's not going to be enough for P2 even. That must be an unfortunate letdown for him.
He was a little bit slower in the first sector. His first sector was pretty okay.
And he had a brilliant second sector, but he just couldn't keep it.
Yep. Gonna see that is also gonna be on the last corner here.
The McLarens are in the pit, and as I say that, Sludgy gets out. I think they're gonna, this is their final lap times here. Let's see if they can improve, as it looks to be a battle between the McLarens for pole position. The Ferrari's on and out on a flying lap here, I think. As he goes into the final corner, he keeps it nice and tight. Braking mid-corner, I wouldn't recommend that, as it loses him a lot of time. Actually, I don't think that was a outlap. I'm not sure because this is a 2:16 or 1:30. Yeah.
Missed purple sector 2. Oh, what a big crash.
And it's Mitz, the favorite. One of the favorites. He crashes out. That's so unfortunate. That must be so annoying for him.
Ooh, and behind him also. My hay
Even
got.
behind him, can he improve his lap time to beat Miss? As he's not been able to react. He's not able to retaliate.
Miss has hit the wall, but it seems like he has no damage at all. That's a lucky escape from him.
Yes.
And Miss just touched the inside wall after the straight into the chicane. That
And
make him
Sludgy Beast is going to be on a lap now. Let's see what he can conjure up here. Starting his lap now. Breaking point, of course, the 100-meter board. He goes slightly hot into the first corner, losing a bit of time. The Aston comes out there, but he manages to avoid him. He keeps a nice line through that as he goes for the bank corner here. It's very hard to get this right. He goes slightly further from the apex than I'm sure he would have liked. As he now goes into these flowy corners, he's nice on the curbs. He's keeping it very nice and controlled. As he exits them, he manages to have a good sector through there. Let's see if it's purple. No, it isn't. That's very unfortunate from him, but it's 500s down on his lap time. He's going around into the 180-degree corner. Right before the chicane, he needs to nail the chicane if he wants to have a chance at a better lap time. He does pretty well, but I think he goes a gear too far down. But he manages to keep it on the track and not invalidate.
now looking into the chicane.
He's 2/10 up. He's got a purple sector, and he's nailed that chicane there. Can he manage to get a faster lap time than his teammate? He is a second down, but if he manages to nail this final corner, I think it could be pole position for him as we have a minute left of his qualifying. It's very tense to see who will have the fastest lap time.
It's a little bit into the wall goes Sludgy.
He's going
but
a
I
bit
think
wider, and he's gained 5/10s, but it's only enough for P2. As his teammate now, I think, goes out now for his flying lap. The Aston Martin starts on his lap as he tries his quest to beat Mist. He goes slightly too tight into the first corner, and he manages to run a bit wide. Well, no, not that wide, but he messes up the first chicane there as he's a bit far from the apex again, as well as him being also far from these curbs here, which you're meant to touch. I think he's just playing it cautionary as he just needs to get the lap time, and he invalidated. That is not going to be brilliant for him, as I think that's his chance at being missed over. Ferrari and Maihe have finished now, so we'll see what the McLarens can do. Sludgy's on in a second. No, he's not on the second lap.
he is using his battery. Looks like he's doing a lap.
But he's 2 seconds down. I don't think this is going to be great for him. And I think this is
Yeah.
the final qualifying order. I'm not sure. As the McLaren on pole has unfortunately invalidated his lap after being 2/10s up. And it looks to be this is our grid order for the race. Let's just see if Sludgy will approve it. I don't think he will. As he runs
Into
past
the-
time, he pits. And this is our grid order for the race.
Quite intense.
Yeah. Very close qualifying for the top 2 spots.
Top 3 is gonna fight till the end.
Mist has a very good acceleration though from race start. So I think like he is able, if he's able to get another good start, he could potentially throttle himself into the higher sectors, the higher positions. But we'll have to see in just a few moments.
Oh, Juven has made a pretty good lap, even with a
Oh,
mistake.
he was actually on a lap. Impressive. And he's jumped the Ferrari as well. Well, it looks like he did manage to jump Mist, and he will have to start P6, unfortunately. I'm not sure the Red Bull would be pleased with that. And we have our final grid here. The McLaren's on top for a 1-2 lockout on the front row, but Master gets the edge over his teammate with a 3/10 gap, and the rest of the grid over a second behind on them. This will be an interesting race to see who is able to bandage the win. Artist, what do you think is going to be the biggest surprise on this race start?
When the race start, we just gotta have to see it because every time the car launches, it could be in a different way. Everyone can get a different grip. I think the people that could be outside could get a better grip, but that's
Mhm.
but it's a game, so I don't think it's gonna be like that.
Yeah.
But I just hope uh, everyone will stay clean until
Before the first corner, let's hope not everybody
yeah.
crashes out, and we will just have to see. Now everyone's choosing their tire strategy. I think it's going to be a medium hard one stop here, but I'm not too sure. What do you think, artists, on the strategy?
Really not sure about it. We're gonna have to see how many safety cars we're gonna have, and this strategy will change every time there's gonna be a safety car. But I just hope everyone's gonna drive clean. So
Yep, hopefully, and we'll have to see when the lights go out. Here in Saudi Arabia, we are raring to go, and it's lights out, and away we go. The McLarens get a pretty good start. Mahe also gets a good start. Miss actually drops down a bit, I think, in position as there's a huge
oh,
crash. But AlphaTauri has hit the McLaren. That is a huge crash. That must be so disappointing for the man who started on P2. And Mahe has a 3-second penalty for I haven't been able to see as
oh, a
the
little bit
McLaren
wide.
leaves.
There's gonna. Oh, and
But
I
there's
see
a
parts
huge crash with
flying.
the Ferrari. 5-second penalty. This is chaos. As we have a safety car, I'm pretty sure. Hayes managed to
Yeah.
get P2, but he's got a penalty and missed. Manages to jump from P6 to P3. What a great start from him. Yuvan gets a good P4 solid. The Ferrari, just terrible, I guess, for him. And the McLaren has left the session. Purely in a fit of rage, I'm sure.
Sludgy has left.
That is such a crazy race start. I did not expect that.
A lot of spins. But I
Chaos.
think, we're gonna, as long as we're not gonna do a lot of mistakes.
Luckily, no one says DNF, so I'm sure there'll
Plane
be a
has
lot of
no
stops
wing.
there.
Plane has no front wing. Lemonix overtaken him. Probably because he drove way too slow. But Plane really is driving slowly.
Yeah, he's lost his front wing, and Yuan's got a drive through for speeding under the VSC.
And
As
it's
the lights
green.
go green again, he's P1 has built a 1-second gap to Mahe. Miss, I'm sure he's trying to close up from behind. Yuvan's also got a penalty. He's a second behind Miss. Banana, actually, he's not. He's 3 seconds behind. The AlphaTauri is already in the pits. The Ferrari is still. He needs to pit now, and he touches the wall very slightly, and he
Ooh.
drives into the pits. Levenix at the back of the pack, but he's going to jump up 2 positions after these pit stops, unless
Just
the
gonna
AlphaTauri can give him a good run.
This kiddo and Lemonix are pitting. Oh wait, no, Plane and this kiddo is pitting.
And Levenix has gone straight on at the first corner. He needs to reverse and get himself out of that. This is a terrible race so far for him as he's P8. And it looks like maybe the Ferrari could even jump him now. He
This is
managed-
really close to Mayhay.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some action here.
Yeah. But Alfa Romeo is 6 seconds behind Miss, so I don't expect them to see to close up anytime soon. And the Aston Martins is 2 seconds behind the Alfa Romeo.
Ooh, Miss, it's a wall.
Ooh, that might hurt his lap time a bit.
And Mayhay is actually pitting. Probably to get his penalty off.
Yep, and
Oh,
DRS
he's
is
the
now
one-
enabled.
Wait, he had a drive-through. Didn't see that.
Yep, Yvonne also had a drive-through to seeing of CC. We're gonna see a huge battle at at the back of the pack, with all these drivers getting drive-throughs and having to pit for a new front wing. So that will be interesting at least. I hope so anyway.
Missed with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's actually pushing the car as much as he can.
Maybe a bit too hard.
Oh, Mayhay a little bit wide.
Going to detriment his race in the long run, I think. These tires have to last. Everyone is on the medium set except for the AlphaTauri, who I'm sure is trying to get a longer stint here. But we'll have to see where the strategy pans out, as I feel like these drivers are going to pit around lap 11, 12. I'm not sure just yet, as we'll have to see in the latter stages.
See, Sludgy is catching up to Mayhay a little bit. He already catched up 3/10. Pushing everything he can right now.
Yep.
Just-
Ooh, it's going to be quite a close fight here. Levenix manages to overtake him on. And he slams it.
Just for some information, Strajibus is not driving anymore, so that's his 40 AI.
Ah,
What a shun from Levenix. What happened there? The Alpine just turned into the Alpha Tauri, I believe.
I didn't see it, but terrible news for him.
Yeah.
That is his driving clean right now. No penalties. Seems like he's
This needs to be able to catch up to the McLaren, who's just having a
Ooh.
solid race so far. No mistakes, no major mistakes, and he's managing to keep in the lead.
There's has run a little bit wide, but he seems alright.
We're gonna need a safety car. Everyone's literally so far away from each other as Discido gets a 3-second time penalty for getting many corner cuts, which is not ideal for his race. But I doubt it'll be matter so much, as everyone's just so stretched apart. There's no action. Come on, guys.
This kiddo has touched the wall in the carousel. That's all I'm gonna say.
But Alfa Romeo is getting closer to the Red Bull, I think. But we'll have to see how that pans out in a few moments, few laps. 20% of this race through. 8 of the drivers are here. 9 started. Let's see if that trend continues.
Oh, I saw someone. Never mind, I thought I saw someone off track. Was just lying. But every person actually are playing it safe, it seems like, because they're all driving stable times and no one is
Mhm.
getting closer to anyone. So the gaps are staying almost the same.
Mhm.
It's all about the strategy now.
Yes, this is going to be a strategy battle instead of on track, which is kind of unfortunate. And I love a good trap battle, but we can't really do much.
There's actually, oh, we got some yellow flags.
You
And
got a yellow sector one.
that was Yuan, I think.
I
No,
think
that
it was
was,
the Alpha Tauri.
yeah, that was this kiddo. Probably running wide. Theirs is actually catching up to Mist. A little bit faster on the straights, seems like.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a
Maybe the
battle
setup
soon.
change. As there's also another sector for Discido. It's going a bit too slow for his for
He
what
has
he
no
should be
front
doing.
wing.
He has no front wing. I haven't even realized. That's gonna be such a detriment to his lap. I don't know why he shouldn't pit. To be fair, if he pits, he'd lose out on plane quantum, which would not be good. But he might be able to manage to get back the time, but it's hard to tell. It's better if he stays out, to be honest, maybe.
But he has absolute no front wing. So I would,
But Alfa
yeah.
Romeo is really catching on to Mist here. This could be a nice battle as Levenix has left the session.
Some information about Rajabis. He has been disqualified from the session, so he's not being counted.
So that means everyone behind Sludgy Beast will move up a place. So Yuvan is currently P5, Discido P6, Plain Quantum P7, and Levenix P8. Mist needs to pick up the space as it's now 1.5 seconds the gap as Discido pits and forfeiting the position behind him as he also gets slapped by Master Q, which must be a damage to his morale potentially. As he hits the wall and pit exit, hopefully he hasn't damaged his new front wing, but we'll have to see.
There's really closing the gap.
He's really switched on the light bulb.
Ooh,
As he
a little wide.
That's gonna be
He
terrible.
has no damage.
He's
It's
luckily
fine.
no damage. Unable to catch up slightly. He's keeping
Check
it
the
nice.
zoom.
Miss is really slow. He went off track and it looks like it's gonna be overtake for Banana in a minute. They both go off track here as Miss allows him through. I don't think he's willing to fight that out. It will cut both their lap times. Maybe going for the DRS overtake again, and my hit gets 3 seconds again. Very unfortunate. That was the only race action we got in the past couple of laps.
We're gonna just wait for more action soon. I think this kiddo is gonna catch up to Plane really soon. Also, he got a 3-second time penalty again.
I don't feel like he's not going to be able to catch up as Yuvan.
Staying close.
Yes. He's got the DRS on him. Maybe he's looking to get a re-overtake, but we'll have to see very soon. He's going much more aggressive into this corner than Banana. He does not have the DRS still, I don't think. And he pits as well.
Yeah, it's all about strategy right now.
Maybe he's going for an extra long hard stint to try and get an undercut for Banana.
Those are hearts.
Those are the hards. As he's also getting a new front wing as well, so he is pitting for a new front wing as well. As Plain Quantum gets a 3-second penalty for corner cutting.
This kiddo actually already is really close to Plane.
Yuvan's getting really close to Mist here. He slightly hits the wall. He also gets a 3-second time penalties again for multiple warnings. And he's in this. I think Yuvan's actually ahead of him. He's net P4 currently, Yuvan. As Mist will drop that to P5 after penalties. As long as Yuvan does not get penalty.
This kiddo is really close to playing. Also, Ivana is getting close to Sludgy. But Sludgy has gotten disqualified, so. Gonna
Maybe
just
being
play
able to use his DRS.
to his advantage, yeah.
Mhm. The AlphaTauri is also not that far behind from the Ferrari, as the back of the pack seems to be a bit heating up a bit. And it looks like Yuvon's going to overtake the illegal disqualified car of the McLaren. But he's going to get the DRS as Discido gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting again.
Ooh, Ivan.
Mahe also gets a 3-second penalty for calling it, and the AlphaTauri has crashed out.
This kiddo has.
What's happened? He went straight on and he's crashed it. How unfortunate for him. As the Alfa Romeo finally gets a time penalty. It's pure
Things are gonna
domination from McLaren.
I think we're gonna have a safety car soon.
Yes, because they need to clear that off, or else that could be hazardous. As they have, so it does not look like it's going to be a safety car. You'll have to see if the safety car will be happening throughout the race.
I'm gonna see it. Ivana's catching up to the illegal car again. He did manage to crash into a wall, so we see some damage on the front right.
As he goes slightly off track there, he has to rejoin, losing a bunch of time. Lane Quantum is heavily behind, almost gonna get lapped by the Alfa Romeo in P2. And Discido has left the session. Unfortunate race for him. Although he did cause a massive shunt between the McLaren.
Quite boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looked like everyone is in the same second.
Yes, but the inconsistivities of the drivers is really bad for them.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with new drivers. There is this spinning. Especially
As
with
the Alfa
ability.
Romeo and the Alpine pit, any observations from the pit lane?
So it looks like the Alfa Romeo is better for the hard. Same for Ono Freichuk. The Alpine, as Mist passes by, of course he's pitted a bit earlier, so he's undercutting. It seems like the undercut is working right now.
We're gonna
But
see
it
some
only
close
worked for
battles with
Alpine
Mist
still.
and Darius.
Finally, some action here as the Red Bull is behind the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo will need to cool up the tire, so it will be very slow through the sector as Mist is catching up very quickly. As he tries to look to make an overtake, it's not going to happen here as there's no overtaking opportunities. As they both go off track, that's going to be definitely questionable for them in terms of track limits. But it looks like the Alfa Romeo is going to be slightly ahead. We'll have to see very close
A
soon.
better
with the
exit
DRS.
from it. Mist is getting a better exit through the straight, but he's still losing time. Now he's really close to Darius right now.
Reset penalty? Yes. Finally. As it looks to be, maybe, yeah, he gets the DRS. He has to deploy it now as he gets closer and closer and closer to the Alfa Romeo. Into this chicane here. He puts the throttle up very early here. As he hits the wall, that's going to be very bad for him.
He had no
As-
damage whatsoever.
He's gotten so lucky there. As Mahe seems to be entering this battle now, potentially.
He also almost crashed in the same place he did in qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
Almost the same way.
He
But
just
wait
needs to
early.
close up the gap again.
He's already in 1 second.
It's definitely getting closer and closer, as you can see. Maybe a bit of nerves from the Alfa Romeo as the Red Bull starts to put in the lap times, going slightly off the banking. My bad. He's definitely further away as he gets another 3 seconds. See how unfortunate, and it looks like Banana is managing to climb away from his grasp. Now Mist has to worry about the Alpine potentially threat behind him. as he
Gotta
seems to be
wait.
putting in some good lap times here.
Gonna wait and see.
Mhm. It looks to be a freeway battle for P2. And Maihei's hitting the wall, unfortunately, so he's going to be losing a bit of lap time. And the leader, I think, has also pitted as he's lost his 40-second gap into 20. As he's on the
gonna
hards
build it
now.
up. But I think Master will still climb back up. Unless he does some mistakes.
Which is unlikely, as he's just been so dominant throughout the race. Yes, the Alpine is definitely closing up to the Red Bull. As we can see, the lap times begin to close up.
It might be because Miss has front fin damage, but if I didn't
And he
see
might
it
have
out,
worn out the hards after that long undercut.
not really worn up tires, but we're gonna just see.
Mr. setting about 2 second, 3 second slower lap times, and Maihei has just put in a new personal best. It looks like he is starting to catch up drastically as the tires have warmed up and they're raring to go.
Ooh, slight touch from the inside wall. This goes a little bit wide on the exit.
1.6 seconds now the gap. It'll be interesting to see how quickly it closes up or how if Miss is able to pull away. But it's now moved down to 1.4 seconds after that corner.
Maybe
Let's see
he's
if
improving his lap time by 1.5 in the first sorry, 0.15.
Maihei has got 75% battery and the Red Bull only has 16%. So he's able to deploy that energy.
May is almost in 1 second gap. Master get us a fastest lap for the race.
123.8. Maihei's continuing to gain, but he lost slightly a bit of time in that chicane. 2 tenths, but he might be able to catch up. But he just needs to deploy to get into that DRS zone. Getting very close to the apex there, as it looks like
Ooh.
Mist has made a bit of a mistake. 1 second, the gap now. Mist will put in a 37.2, and Maihei puts in 136, I'm pretty sure.
May is really close. I think we're
Yeah.
gonna go over to
6 tenths the gap now, as Banana has managed to slip away 5 seconds ahead of Mist. Mist has fallen into the Alpine trap.
Ferrari a little bit wide there.
Maybe the blue flags will come into play here as the cars are slowly approaching them. Maihei's being definitely more careful into these corners. Mist is trying to do everything he can to
Really
extend this
close.
gap. He's deploying Eros now. He's going to go for the overtake. He has 4 tenths up in his first lesson. He backs out. He's very cautious on the corner, but he gets the better run out. And it looks to be an overtake for the side by side. Red Bull has the inside, which will flip to the outside, back into the inside now. Maihei has to back out here in fear of his front wing getting caught off, but he still has the DRS. He's able to go for a second run on the back stretch, I'm pretty sure, before the final corner. The chicane will really matter though. He needs to get a good run out of the chicane. He does not get a good run out of the chicane. He goes slightly wide, but he still has a DRS. Maybe the nerves are catching up to him as the leader pits. Now it's gonna be a lot closer. He has a penalty, I think.
No, he has a broken front wing.
Oh, he had a broken front wing. As it looks to be some action from the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren. As the Alfa Romeo will overtake him, and this is, I'm pretty sure, their last pit stops. But the McLaren will have such faster tires. But as of the moment, the Alfa Romeo currently leads the race with 3 tenths in it. He'll just have to keep it slightly longer, maybe to hit the McLaren, as the race is starting to get a lot closer now.
As we said, it's all about the strategy. It's all the strategy game.
Oh, he gets another 3 second time penalty. The McLaren has no penalty, so I'm sure he's ahead of him.
Yeah, he is. We got Maihei 1/10.
He's 400s away as he looks to make the overtake. He's up into P3 as there's a collision, I think. No, there's not. It's just the blue flags. Mist takes it back, but Maihei goes for the switchback, I'm pretty sure, as he manages to get the better run. And Mist is now a second behind. I don't think he's able to recover from that. And Maihei takes the P3. Now, we don't know the penalties here, so he still has to extend his gap. But as far as I'm concerned, Maihei's in a net P3.
Master is trying to go around the outside with the DRS.
And he managed to. What a clean overtake. But the Alfa Romeo, oh, he goes in quite hot there. That's going to be bad for his exit. But he has the DRS. Maybe goes for a late break lunge into the first corner. I'm not sure what his intentions
Really
are.
far away.
Back.
Really far away. He's not gonna go for it.
He's not going to go for it.
His tires are a lot worse than Master's.
But it's very good attempt from him. As Mist hits, as he knows he's not going to get him back. He might as well go for a fastest lap attempt, maybe. He goes onto the softs. I don't believe the softs can last 10 laps. Oh, he's also pitting for a front wing.
No,
A lot
that's
of fun,
because
man.
the soft will not last for 10 laps. They usually last about 5 laps at maximum. So he will need to come for a second stop. After this one, of course. But let's see what he's gonna be able to do with those softs. I don't think that's a really good choice for him.
Yes, as he exits the pit now. This is definitely a weird strategy call from Red Bull here. Have they made a strategy blunder, causing Mist to fall out of the potential podium spots here? As there's still a potential chance of the Alpine boxing and the Alfa Romeo boxing. So they might have just thrown away a podium, but we're not sure, as we'll have to see in the last 10 laps of the race. As Master gets a 3-second time penalty, that might cause a bit of trouble for him. As
He's
if he
got a lot of more penalties, so he's still in the front.
Mhm.
He only got a 3-second. That's his first penalty in this race. Ooh, a little bit wide goes to man.
And he gets a fastest lap, over a second, well, 9/10 faster than his last lap time. He's shown a lot of promise through this race, and it'll be interesting to see if he manages to take this to the final round. Let's check the driver standings to see where he is currently. So currently he's P4 in the championship. 2 wins before this. Can he make it a 3 for 3? As that might allow him to be closing up onto the championship as he sets another purple first sector. This is promising for the first potential tier 2 champion, as this is the penultimate race of the tier 2 calendar. Mist is most likely going to be in contention with him for the final race, as he is P2 in the championship. P1's actually not competing this race, but he is P2 with a 22-point advantage upon Matthias / Master. It'll be interesting to see the final shootout, but Maihei can also be in this, as he's 2 points behind Mist, being P3 in the driver standings. For the constructors, it seems to be Alpine potentially, and Red Bull as well as McLaren having a potential championship fight, but Haas is not completely out of it, I don't believe.
Master another fastest lap.
And this is showing some promise for his medium tires, as now he's built a 6-second gap to the Alfa Romeo. Basically, the entire grid has got penalties, and will just have to depend on how severe the penalties are and the gaps between the drivers.
Nothing is really happening. We can only just hope. Gonna see some action soon.
Yes, maybe. Make sure if you're a Sky Q Glass concert, hit that red button so you can see all the highlights of this race. Yes, we'll have to see.
We can actually just watch Master just mastering this track.
Master the Monster of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Let's see
Okay.
a onboard lap commentary with
Oh, we
him.
got a spin. It's a mist. He has no front wing.
Mist. Oh, it's a VSC, I believe. As Mist loses out, is going to lose out tremendously. Terrible for him as he's lost his front wing and he'll have to box. Is this a? This looks to be a VSC as there's no safety car currently on track. So the drivers will have to slow down and they'll have to recuperate
It's
themselves.
VSC.
What an unfortunate race for Mist. One of the championship contenders, and this has happened. And the race is back underway. Master very close with those carbs. He's very precise. He slightly taps the wall there, but he's managing to touch the carbs as he goes around the first sector. Banana gets a 3-second time penalty as he completes the first sector 2 seconds behind on his personal best. As he rounds this corner, he keeps a very nice line through there, maximizing his exit. Going down into the chicane. The Saudi Arabian, very wobbly, flowy corners is definitely been a test for the drivers. Master managing to control those flowy corners and master them as he does in his name. It's been one of probably his best drives. He gets a purple second sector. He's really improving here. This is really impressive from him, as he's just built 5-second gap. He's just mastered this. It's just master this race. As he goes around the final corner, he's going to lead another lap of the Grand Prix, which I'm sure he's going to lead to the end.
Got his purple 2 and third sector, but no fastest lap.
My hit actually has the most penalties here. He's got 12-second penalty, which might be very bad for him.
If Mist
And
has
so does Mist.
both of the greatest drivers in this Tier 2 drove from the start. We're just gonna see how bad it's gonna be, and we're gonna see where they finish after the race.
Yeah. It's one of the most dominant drives today from Master. Very impressive, honestly.
At one point he had 40-second gap. He had to sadly pit twice.
Now it just all depends to luck, I guess now. Depending on if they get a front, they have to change their front wing or not.
Looks like Master has some damage, because there is this driving us fast with an older tires. He's driving the same lap times as Master is.
Master, I don't think has any damage actually. Doesn't look like it on his wing.
Could be side pods, could be just the tires.
Yeah. Maybe the tires are finally starting to go off now. You can see the Alfa Romeo on the background. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up, especially with that 9-second penalty.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's safe to say that the McLaren is going to win this race.
I would say that too, but it's not all over.
It's never over.
Yeah.
Mahe gets another 3-second time penalty. He's nearing disqualification, maybe. 15 seconds worth of penalties. That is going to be huge for the rest of this race. However, it doesn't seem to matter too much, as Yuvan, whose P4 is 49 seconds behind, I believe. No, 59. So we'll have to see.
You're gonna see.
And the Ferrari
Ferrari.
has a bit of a spin. He's struggling to manage to get it back on track. Very unfortunate for him. As Yuvan will now overtake him, I think, on the blue flags.
Yep.
He gives them way.
For the next league race, I would recommend everyone in tier 2 to have a rally session for
Mhm.
about an hour to control the oversteer. I would
Yes.
just recommend, but Mehi is actually pitting.
Hello G4, so it seems like Mayhew is actually pitting for stops, so he's definitely going for those extra 4 points of the fastest lap here. Let's see how it goes out.
Gonna see.
Yes.
He couldn't catch up to Darius, so he's gonna try to do the fastest lap. Really good luck right here.
Yes, there's no real threat from him behind, as the Aston Martin is still very far behind. It's 58 seconds behind. So it's a very smart move on his behalf. We'll have to see what he can conjure up. Miss might be trying to close the gap to Yuvan as he's only 2 seconds away. But with 9-second extra penalties, it will be very tough to see if he can actually keep that P4. Because the overtaking might not be so hard, but he's only got 4 laps to do it.
Because
can
he's
he?
already back on hards. He was
Mhm.
soft. He has changed the strategies. And he's back on hards.
Yes. Well, let's do an onboard commentary lap with Maihei as he goes on the back straight into the final corner. He has to keep it third gear for the best possible acceleration. I believe he goes slightly too wide. I mean, slightly too low on a gear. And here we are on a lap with Maihei. Crosses line 193 miles per hour, going up as high as 202, breaking at the 100-meter board. He goes into second gear for the chicane. He keeps it nice and tight, keeps it on track very well, and he accelerates into this banked corner. Try and get close to the apex, goes slightly too far from it, but that's okay as he also goes slightly wide from these corners, but he manages to keep it on this second part of sector 1, which is very nice. As he goes for the end, he needs to find a good exit here to make some time up. As he crosses the first sector board, he is a 100th up on his lap time. He goes around the corner, which turns it 180 degrees as he goes through the flowing corners before the first chicane on this side. Keeps it nice and tight. You've got to keep it there, and he breaks fourth gear, maybe a gear bit too low. He goes slightly track to stance, but it's going to be okay for the stewards as he continues down his path. He's managing to keep it close to these flowy corners, except for there, goes slightly wide than he needs to be. He goes sixth gear, he goes slightly too hot into where he wanted to be, but this is now the penultimate straight. He has had a pretty fast lap so far, deploying his ERS down the straight. He goes 190, 200 miles an hour into the braking point. He goes down to third, second gear, slightly a gear too low. He keeps it nice on the throttle as it might be a good enough lap time. It's going to be a 134.6, 5/10 better than his previous lap time.
And Ferrari has spun in 1 and second sectors. Just right, just into the second sector.
Oh, very close battling here with Mist and the Aston Martin as he's got the DRS. He's going to try and make a move on the inside. Yuvan does not want that blocking him, but he's going to send it down on the inside. He closes him a bit too wide. That's going to be definitely talked about in the stewards room for sure. As I go on the straight, Mist still has a DRS. He must be furious about that squeezing, and he's going to be a bit more cautious probably into this corner if he manages to catch up. He's going for the slipstream. 199 miles an hour, not fast enough as Yuvan manages to keep position. But it seems like it's not going to be for very long. As he lets him through.
probably just because he doesn't want the penalty for squeezing him on the inside.
Now he just needs to make up 9 seconds on Yuvan if he wants to keep this P4. Miss Pit from the softs to the hards, which I think is a strategy blunder here. Could have went on the second stint of Storfs. That's fine. He just needs to gain about 7 more seconds, which is definitely possible. He's already gained 2 seconds on Yuvan, but he needs to gain the extra 7.
It's gonna take some time though.
He needs to get Yuvan to make a mistake, and it'll almost be his. Maihei also gets another penalty, but it won't matter too much.
Got ooh.
As the Ferrari, I think, lets prove Alfa Romeo for the second time this race.
And we're about to get to the final lap. So Miss has to push really hard.
As he rounds the final corner of the penultimate lap, let's reflect on his Saudi Arabian GP. He had a very good start at the first corner, managing to stay away from all the havoc, managing to have a dominant drive for the first couple of laps. Had to pit twice and unfortunately lose crucial time, but he's managed to claw that back, cornering a 10-second lead, even more off the penalties. But he's just been so consistent and very smooth through these corners. Not many have been doing that, and he's keeping it on the limit as well. He's got less penalties than what people would normally have around in Tier 2. This fight is definitely not over. Miss and Maihei will need to catch up in order to secure this championship. But Master is going to get maybe his 3rd straight win in a row as he rounds the first chicane of the parallel straight to the first corner. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Artist, on his dominant drive?
Really consistent. Maybe he couldn't. He had one job not to clip the barriers for the second pit stop, but it looks like he's gonna actually win the race. Last corner.
Yeah. He's managed to keep it on the limit here as he's on the final straight and he's going all the way across the line. He's going to win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Tier 2. What a beautiful drive from him. He must be very pleased with himself after that. But the race is still not over as Mister's garnered a 6-second advantage to Yuvan. He just needs to gain 3 extra as he's already gained 2 more seconds. Yuvan needs to keep it within that 9-second region, but Mist is pushing to get it to 9 seconds.
8 seconds right now.
To come into play.
Last corner. Now.
And the last corner for Maihei, he's had a very penalty-ridden drive, but it's going to be P3 for the Alpine. Wonderful. There is our podium. Now we just need to wait to see who's P4. Yuvan, 8 seconds.
Miss is pushing the limits.
He's pushing. He needs to gain 1.3 seconds on these final couple of corners. Yuvan might have been able to keep it in the corner, but the time is ticking up. 8.2. Oh, he just needs to gain 0.8 through this final corner. That's going to be a very tumultuous job, as Yuvan has a very nice low-speed, high-speed setup, low downforce, and it looks like with these penalties, it looks like Yuvan is going to manage to stay in P4 as he gets the P4 and he rounds off the best of the rest of the podium. Very, very crazy race. Not as interesting as I thought it would be, but definitely a memorable one.
Will be.
As we look to see the final, we get the podium celebration. The McLaren man walking on proudly. And it's going to be McLaren on top with the Alfa Romeo in second and the Alpine in third. Now, driver of the day. Who do you think is driver of the day, Artis?
I'm gonna be silent because everyone had a good fair and square battles. But I think Master can master this track. He was
Yeah.
really fast in every single lap.
Yeah,
So I
I
would say-
honestly think my driver of the day is also Master, as it's just been so dominant and it's really impressive drive from him. Well, that rounds up this race weekend of Tier 2 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Make sure to join us next time for the final race, which I'm pretty sure is the Great British GP. We'll have to see who comes out and to be the Drivers' Championship there. But that is all from us.